sign like that at age 58. So I want to get that out the way first. But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul. Now, unlike people who've worked with me, unlike people who are friends and colleagues, what have you, I didn't find it funny.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank.
Tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
Smith criticized Jake Paul for facing Gervonta Davis, claiming that Jake is just too large for him. He described this matchup as one-sided and uncompetitive, explaining that Jake consistently selects bouts that don't really test his abilities. Smith claims that Jake stays away from opponents who are on par with him, revealing how his boxing decisions prioritize quick victories over genuine battles.
That was Mike Tyson. Now you're going into the ring against a cat that's 228. He's a young lion, and no matter what questions may exist about Jake Paul and his ability to box real boxers, because we haven't really seen that yet from him, we don't question his power. We know he's got power.
Gervonta Davis's coach has been questioned by Stephen A. Smith about the opponents he thinks should face Tank next. The coach made a snap decision. Anyone who has disparaged Davis should be the first to come forward, he made plain. Fighters that have openly questioned Tank's abilities include Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. For the coach, this is about respect as much as antagonism. He feels that these men should know what Tank's strength is really like. Retaliation for the remarks expressed is not the only goal. The goal is to silence the skeptics who continue to question Davis's supremacy. According to him, the moment has come for the talkers to be humbled inside the ropes and experience the reality that Tank's skill set provides.
You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him, you're training him all the time, you know him, both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we're working on the big four. It was Garcia, that's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Ari Spears, a comedian and commentator, was blunt in his assessment of the incident. For him, the impending battle is not so much a sporting contest as it is a show. Spears still has faith in Davis's strength and accuracy, even though he refers to it as a circus. With a prediction of a knockout by the third round, he envisions Tank finishing the show early. The gap between his praise and condemnation is striking. Although he acknowledges the ridiculousness of the fight's advertising, he respects Tank's effectiveness as a finisher. Many fans find this clash to be both absurd and fascinating, and Spears' perspective perfectly expresses their feelings. Even critics cannot rule out Davis ending the show with a vicious remark before the battle goes too far. It's entertainment wrapped in expertise.
The next fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored minus 240, Jake Paul's plus 190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fighter.
I'm predicting a third round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing. He'd mess up that record.
Yeah, and I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's, 43-0 at this point?
Okay.
He's 37 years old. I personally don't.
But he still got the goods, though.
He's got the goods.
Yeah, he still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And like he had only had 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather, very early in his career. But this whole like Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, just like, because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. There was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead? I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fight somebody. Like, you know, they're going to start putting like old men. I mean, they're already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Known for being frank, Stephen A. Smith wants boxing to go beyond the spectacle-driven fad. He feels that rather than playing exhibition matches that don't add much to his legacy, Gervonta Davis should concentrate on important matches that push him to the maximum. Smith especially mentioned that he would like to see Tank rematch Ryan Garcia, a fighter with whom he still has unresolved issues. He said that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez would be excellent opponents for Davis, pushing him both physically and emotionally. Smith makes an easy point. Fans should have meaningful fights. These are the kinds of fights that establish champions and bring back the spirit of competition in sports. He wants Davis' skill to be displayed against worthy opponents who can further hone it rather than being squandered on pointless competitions.
Me personally, I want to see him fight a Garcia again. I want to see him fight a Teofimo Lopez, somebody like that that's got some power, somebody that has the potential to inflict some pain upon him. Because I don't know if anybody can do it. And I've totally lost it with David Haney. After what I saw Ryan Garcia do to him, even though Ryan Garcia was a bit bulked up.
Many boxing commentators are becoming impatient with Jake Paul's career strategy. They contend that his most recent bout announcements exhibit the same trend, choosing odd opponents who attract attention rather than fostering competitive interest. Many analysts think Paul's credibility in the ring isn't being enhanced by these battles, which are more intended for the headlines and viral videos. They observe that he frequently steers clear of opponents with comparable experience, weight, or technical skill. Millions of people watch his activities, yet others claim that authenticity is sacrificed for entertainment value. The sport is overshadowed by the spectacle, and the plots frequently sound planned rather than organic. This is why purists believe Paul is still more of a showman than a serious professional candidate.
Jake Paul won the fight, but yeah, that was that. This time, Jake Paul is to take on Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he was recently in the news for being arrested for a domestic violence incident involving one of his kids' mother. He was alleged to have slapped her about the place. The charges were later dropped, to be fair to him. But yeah, that was when he was last in the news. What is interesting is just a couple of months ago, Tank Davis was saying openly that he'd lost his passion for boxing and that he wanted time away from the sport. There was speculation that he might even retire as he was experiencing extreme mental fatigue from boxing, depression, and there were mental health concerns over him. However, I guess the opportunity to earn a truck full of money, fighting a completely worthless exhibition fight against Jake Paul was enough to make him change his mind about boxing. Funny that, isn't it? But you know what, I'm not even gonna waste your time or mine critiquing this utter nonsense. Suffice to say that this so-called fight we're talking about is an exhibition and pits Jake Paul, who is a cruiserweight, by the way, weighs in excess of 200 pounds, and Tank Davis, who is, he was the WBA lightweight champion, who weighs in at about 135 pounds when he fights. So that's a disparity of some 65 pounds. In old money, that's about 4.5 stone. There's also a significant difference in height. Jake Paul is roughly, 6'1", 2. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" at best. So, there's a height disparity there of some 8 inches. And once again, this is Jake Paul showing total disrespect to boxing, in my opinion.
It's becoming more widely accepted that Gervonta Davis's choices are driven more by financial gain than by prestige. According to analysts, his management is putting more money into financially lucrative battles than ones that would enhance his legacy as a champion. This impression is further supported by the scheduled duel with Jake Paul. Some see it as evidence that boxing has evolved from a sport to an entertainment industry. High pay-per-view figures are guaranteed by Tank's reputation for spectacular knockouts, and his financial appeal is increased when he is paired with a YouTube sensation. Traditionalists, however, see this as a concerning indication. They worry that combatants now place a higher value on revenue potential than on competitive merit. Despite his obvious talent, Davis's recent actions imply that legacy may not be his main priority. It's money.
Look at how Tank started acting after he made $40 million with Ryan. When he make another $40+ million with Jake,
he's gonna go make $40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Road for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing, you do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it, you want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40-50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money.
Respected boxing commentator Jeff Mayweather has publicly questioned the reasoning for this clash. The obvious size and weight difference between the two men is what worries him the most. He argues that the division structure in boxing is specifically designed to keep boxers safe from such imbalances. In this instance, Jake Paul has an indisputable physical edge due to his naturally larger physique. Jeff feels that despite Davis's superior skill set, the battle is unfairly skewed by the disparity in power, mass, and reach. He characterizes the match as a mismatch that could damage the reputation of the sport. He sees this as more than just a conflict between two people. It tests the extent to which boxing promoters will violate the law in order to create a lucrative spectacle.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Known for his unapologetically honest remarks, Carl Froch wasn't sugarcoating his assessment of Jake Paul's choices. In order to keep a physical advantage, he charged Jake with deliberately choosing smaller opponents. Froch thinks it's ridiculous that Jake chose to fight someone like Davis, who is a few divisions below him, rather than a naturally larger opponent like Anthony Joshua or real heavyweights. According to Froch, the action reveals Jake's career motivations. Instead of real problems, the goal is to create viral mismatches. His words capture the frustration of many veterans who believe that boxing's customs are being compromised by celebrity bouts. Froch's candor highlights a more serious worry that integrity may be being sacrificed in favor of clicks and money in contemporary boxing.
Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in. And I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting. And we'll see you very soon.
Despite widespread criticism that the bout is pointless, observers have noted that it nonetheless advances a number of boxing industry goals. The publicity that such a contentious event creates is advantageous to promoters, media outlets, and even rival combatants. For all parties concerned, the argument itself generates attention and financial momentum. Paradoxically, the same pundits who denounce the conflict help spread its message by talking about it non-stop. This paradox demonstrates how debate is just as important to modern boxing as competition. Every criticism turns into free advertising. All insults result in ticket sales. The irony is that the very thing that keeps the industry successful and relevant is what fans refer to as a joke.